I shifted in my chair, looking around at the other members of the band. Ron had just left the room to give you time to discuss the proposition from the label. And true to our forms, we'd all stopped talking altogether. It's not a bad deal, Dan said quietly, breaking the silence. Yeah, but fucking Juniper Wolf? Are they even serious with that shit? Nick shook his head in disgust. I twisted my hip so I could fish a half-finished pack of cigarettes out of my pocket. Alex looked at me as I shook one free of the box and found my lighter. If we can keep Julian from killing Fran, it might work, Alex suggested. I won't kill her, I said, lighting my cigarette and taking as long a drag as I could fill my lungs with. I'll leave her alive. The only reason they think this is a good idea is because of Jules's rivalry with her, Mark pointed out. Maybe if you had a filter, dude. Maybe if I had a filter, I wouldn't notice how much of an attention whore she is. I rolled my eyes and blew smoke through my nose. We can't do it. They're promising us an extra $500,000 for the next album if we do, Dan pointed out. And a bonus if their first album on the label sells 50,000. We're never gonna see a cent of that fucking bonus, dude, I told Dan. Who the hell's gonna buy the Juniper Wolf album? Fucking nobody, that's who. I took another drag of my cigarette and shook my head. Still, just the extra $500,000 is worth it, Alex said. We could make the next album huge with that kind of money. That's assuming none of us ends up in prison, Mark said. Julian is all talk about Fran, Nick told everyone. He just doesn't want to work with her because he's worried she'll cut in on his wanking time. Like he'd even hesitate to jerk off with her in the room, Alex said. If she walked in on me, that'd be her problem, I pointed out. Nick dug a cigarette out of his gig bag and lit it, and for a moment, silence filled the room. $500,000 more for the next album, Dan finally said. Guys, that's not chump change and you all know it. Neither is $2 billion, I said, flicking the ash off the end of my cigarette in the general area of the ashtray. But working with Juniper Wolf isn't worth that either. Come on, Jules, Alex said, looking me in the eye. This could be really good for us. Besides, apart from getting yourself involved with a drug ring like Mr. Alex North over here, or having sex with a rising music press star like Nick, what else can you do to promote us that would be better than putting aside your stupid fucking feud with Fran Chambers? Asked Mark. I glanced at Mark. I didn't know it was my fucking job to promote us, I told him. I thought we had someone taking 15% from our royalties for that. What's your problem with her anyway? Dan looked up at me from his position on the floor, an eyebrow raised in query. Jules doesn't need anything so petty as a reason to hate someone, Nick said with a smirk. He can judge someone's worthiness within 30 seconds of meeting them. He's never made a decision that works against the interests of the band, though, Dan countered. I want to know where this all started. I shrugged, leaning over the arm of the chair and reaching for the acoustic guitar I'd put aside when Ron had come in. She's just an attention-seeking bitch, and I can't stand her, I said, splaying my fingers over the fretboard until I found the chord I wanted and picked at a few of the strings. They met like a year ago, Nick told Dan. We were out after one of the shows and caught the tail end of Juniper Wolf. So what happened? I kept playing, ignoring Alex's question. It had been around about the time that Alex had been either in rehab, meeting his girlfriend Mary, or on the run from the main dealer in South Florida. She threw glitter at him from the stage, Nick said with a shrug. Apparently, she does that a lot. Like I said, I cut in. She's an attention-seeking bitch. Did you get glitter in your eye or something? Dan looked at me, incredulous. I mean, it's not like we haven't done some crazy shit to get attention. You played an entire show in an Elvis costume.